all the way from passive mannequins, not simulating real-life complex situations, to what we can do in VR. The floor is yours.
Yes, hi. So, wow, okay, so I cannot see the audience quite well, but hi everyone. Let me just start with a quick questions about you before I'll talk about me and my company. So is there anyone here that's working in healthcare? Great, okay, so a lot of people. And are there more people who are in the VR development world? Oh, okay, I see a lot of hybrid people, nice, nice. Okay, so a question for all of you. Is there anyone here that believes that one can learn everything by just reading a book? No hands? Okay, great, I agree with you guys. How about watching a lot of television? No? Okay, so I'm, as you said, an anesthesiologist. I'm also an intensivist. And I did go to med school and I did learn from some books, but I agree with you guys, that is not enough, right? So I learned for myself that we need to do things to be able to learn. And basically that's the reason why I started a PhD trajectory and I started doing research on how we could learn in a better way. So some of you guys might know that current training and simulation is using a lot of mannequins. So that basically means you've got like the puppet and you have to try to save it, right? So in anesthesiology, this means that something might go wrong with your patient, right? So for any of you who don't know what my job needs to do, I think it's better not to know too much about anesthesia. It's like the CIA, you don't know if something went wrong unless something went wrong. But once we give patients medication to make them sleep, we've got about 5 minutes before they get brain damage, just to insert like a tube to get them ventilate and breathing again with our help. And those minutes can be hard because sometimes it doesn't work the way we want to. And the same goes for actually any problem that can happen during a surgery. So within the anesthesia world and within the OR world, there is a lot of complications that can be life-threatening. And in 1999, so already 25 years ago, in the United States of America, they did a very big research trying to figure out why people are still dying because of medical faults. And basically what they found out is a lot of these things happened because of human mistakes, human errors, right? So for the last couple of years, a lot of global initiatives have started trying to find out how can you train these people, preventing them from making human mistakes. Okay, so this is called like the human factors training, human factor skills training. And this is something that we really need to train within the simulation. So for it to work, it needs to be immersive. Because as I said, you can also just read a book, right? But if you want to learn something, you need to feel as if it is real. And we are all here in a VR conference, so I guess you guys agree with me on that one, so I'll not elaborate a lot further on this. But we wanted VR to help us for simulation because we wanted people to feel my patient is real. And we wanted to see them having a patient who, for example, has a bleeding, right? And with a mannequin, we used to say, do I see the patient bleed? And the trainer would say, yes, there's a big bleeding, right? Doesn't seem so immersive to me. So that's why we thought VR could be a solution. Secondly, we needed it to be multiplayer. Why? Because it's not just you somewhere doing something. It is the team, right? So within these non-technical skills, within these human factor training, if there is something going on, you should not say, hey guys, can someone get us some blood? Because then there's no one, right? So you have to say, hey, Esther, can you call this number? And Esther needs to say, yes, Krista, I will call it. And then Esther needs to tell me, Krista, the blood is coming, right? So this cycle is something you need to train, and you cannot train this alone. You need to train it together. And then thirdly, the scenario, it needs to be adaptive. Why? Because if you are training and it is too easy for you, you're not going to learn a lot of things, right? Are you? Because you already know it. But if you are training and something goes wrong, and then something else, and then you get so stressed out that you get a mind block and nothing works, you're cognitively getting an overload, you're not gonna learn the same things as if it is just a little bit of excitement, but then you can still handle the situation, right? So we wanted our simulation to be adaptive. We wanted the trainer within the simulation to be able to change what's happening to the patient, right? So if you're like smiling and relaxing and okay, we gotta bleed, let's just, do this and this and this. The trainer can add something else, right? Not if you're already stressed out, but the trainer can change based on your personal goals, on your personal objectives for this training as a team. So that is quite a challenge. And I've started this as an academic spin-off. So basically we've been working with two academic hospitals and with University of Applied Science to build a virtual environment. And we wanted to build this virtual environment starting with the OR, because that's just my primary place where I work every day. So what we did is we built the OR, right? And we just asked the anesthesia nurses and the anesthesiologist, what do you need? What do you need for this training? So there would be stuff to put an IV in, right? There would be the utilities to give people a tube, right? The tube for the ventilation. Obviously the ventilatory machine. And all these kinds of things that we really needed for our simulation to work. And we've been working on that for a couple of years now, and I'm proud to say that I launched the company, and we have built something where you can actually train together. I also have a little video. It's not as expressive as yours, Monique, but I got a little video showing some images of what you can do in our simulation. So here you can see the patients. So as you can see in the video, we've got our OR, and it is a multiplayer setup, and we've been able to do our first testing and validations to see that actually the healthcare providers are able to communicate together. So our goal for the next couple of years is to use this and to train healthcare providers working in the OR and extend it to work together with the surgical department. So I hope you like what I was speaking about, and if you've got any questions or if you want to connect with us, please go to this QR code or find me somewhere during the conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krista. Amazing video, by the way, still. I think so. Because it's all about content, right?
Yes.
So, and it's amazing content. What I find super interesting, you come from an academic background, you are scaling it up to a business, and now you have your product, and you probably have new challenges ahead. So what are your biggest challenges today?
I think just scoping, because there's a lot of interesting things to do, and people try to connect with us, asking us if we can build an extra module. But as you guys probably also know, VR is not the solution for everything, right? They're really asking people what they want, as if we believe that that could be something that can be done with using VR. That's quite some work, and obviously we might believe it, but then we also need to do some research on this and validate this in a way that it really gives enough context to really make something work.
Yeah, it sounds also like a very logical challenge, because when you have a product that shows itself, it's a great concept, an idea, and other people also get a lot of ideas and can build this into it, and who are you going to follow? The market, or the one that is saying, hey, you need this one specific feature. Any questions from the audience? Any hands? I see one. Very simple is also good.
What kind of headsets do you support?
Now we're using Meta, and we're also doing the Pico, but basically we're still open, for changes. There's some new headsets coming up, but for now it's Meta.
A question: does it matter? No.
No.
No. Why not?
Well, why should it? No, for now it doesn't matter for us. No.
Okay. So why does it matter?
Just curiosity.
Just curiosity. Oh, that's a curiosity. Yeah, but curiosity is always good. Another one I see there coming at you.
Hi. I was wondering if you can tell us about the business model. Is it a subscription?
Yeah. So currently we will be launching in the end of 2026. So it will be like getting the hardware either from a platform company, and it is a subscription module. So you'll subscribe for a number of people that want to use it. For now, it is a 3 to 5 multiplayer. So you probably want to train with at least 3 or 4 people. If your objective is obviously to train human factor skills, for which this is built. With a yearly subscription.
Yeah, almost as difficult as the other words.
Anesthesiologist, yeah. Making subscriptions, yeah.
Looking if there's any other questions. I don't see any. But one I have still is you have a lot of data that comes out of it. Like you have a lot of insights in how people respond, react in these environments. Data that you can use to reflect on, to learn from. Is that something that you're already doing as much as you'd like? And is there any connection with other systems or platforms that you foresee to build, to expand this on?
Yeah, so the question is, why would you want to use this data? Right, so for example, you can do heart rate variation or EMG or these kind of data to see if someone feels stressed, for example. But why do you want to know that, right? So for now, we have focused more on the people experience, right? So on the user experience. So if they say that they felt a certain level of stress, for example, and how they felt about it, I think that's more important than the heart rate variation, right? So for example, if you go and ask a famous singer before she goes onto stage, she'll have a very high heart rate variation, but it's something that she needs to perform as well, right? So the question is not so much what data do you want to use, but more what question do you want to answer. And for us, it's the user experience.
Yeah, all right, very good. And I do have a nuance on this, because you can also think about the way that people are focusing and putting attention towards components in your environment. Are they watching the other person more? Are they switching back and forth?
So those are things that we do keep in mind. So for example, when you start a simulation, everything is recorded, and you are able to, for example, see what the other person was seeing, right? So within the simulation training, the debriefing is kind of 80% of the job, right? It's not so much what happened in the simulation, but talking about it and how people can learn from it. And for the debriefing, you can not only see the whole scenario, but you can also see what someone else was seeing, right? So you can see, Anna, you asked her to put a new IV in, but look, you're standing like this, and Anna's there. She didn't hear you. So all these things can be seen. It's a little add-on if you compare it to mannequin. Yes,
yeah,
of course.
Simple can still be valuable.
Yeah.
Very good. Another hand for Krista. Thank you.